So hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to the College of Law Profs webinar. My name is Paige and myself and Jeanette will be taking this webinar for you today. So over to you, Jeanette.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the webinar. You can see that there's a Q&A, a chat function, a little bubble at the bottom of your screen that says Q&A where you can drop chats to us. I see a couple of you already have dropped a couple of questions. That's great. What we'll do is we'll run through the slides. That'll take maybe 20 minutes and then we'll have a ability to answer the questions that you put into the chat at the end. Hopefully you can all hear us. I'm keeping half an eye on the chat, so if there are issues with the video or the audio, just drop it into the chat and we'll be able to see that that's happening at your end. So I'm Jeanette Hobbs. I'm one of the, thanks Joshua. I'm one of the permanent instructors here at college. I'm in Auckland. This is my home in Beach Haven because we're all still working from home actually at college at the moment. And I am one of the people that you will engage with if you come through the college. I teach to all aspects of the college, so I'm here to talk to you about the course and the detail of the course and to answer any questions you have about that. Paige, do you want to introduce yourself and your role?
Yeah, so I'm Paige. I'm one of the client service coordinators, so I am the face of the college. Potentially a lot of you, if you are at one of the 5 universities around the country, you will have seen me at some of the careers fairs earlier this year. So hello. So you would deal with me a lot while you're going throughout the course.
Okay, so I'll move on to the first slide. Basically, this slide is just pointing out why you do profs. What is profs and what is profs through college? You will have completed your law degree or be on the cusp of completing your law degree and turning your mind to the whole what do I do next scenario. In New Zealand, we have the New Zealand Council of Legal Education mandates that if you want to be admitted to the bar here, admitted as a barrister and solicitor of the High Court of New Zealand, then you have to have completed a period of practical training. This is very similar to a lot of other professions. So, for example, if you want to be a teacher, you have to do practical training as well as your academic studies. Same for occupational therapy, nursing, medicine. It's the same in law. So we are that course. We provide the bridge between your academic studies at university, where you've learned law in terms of black letter law and content subjects of law. So you go and you attend lectures on, say, the Personal Property Securities Act, which is what I used to lecture when I lectured at Auckland Uni. And now you are transitioning to practical work and practical training. So that's what we do. We bridge the gap between law school and practice. So our focus is on skills and on the skills that you'll need to be able to be effective in the professional world of working within law. And I'm quite careful how I phrase that because I'm not only talking about working in law firms. A lot of lawyers don't actually end up working in law firms. It might be that you work for NGOs or for government or for businesses or create your own business. All of the skills that you have learned at law school and will deepen with our course will be relevant in a variety of ways, not just the traditional go to a law firm way. So it is a requirement for admission for all New Zealand law students, but it's more than just a requirement. It's actually a really good opportunity because there's a lot to learn to bridge the gap between being at law school and being in practice, and we do help you to develop the skills and confidence to be able to go ahead and be immediately effective or more immediately effective in that role. So it's the start. It's the start of your legal career. Do you have anything to add here, Paige?
No, I think you've covered that one quite well.
Okay, I'll go to the next slide.
So the College of Law, we are the leading provider within New Zealand. We're also internationally recognised. The College of Law is in Australia as well. So I know that there is some agreement between New Zealand and Australia for that. We are also as well the preferred profs provider in New Zealand. So we have a lot of the top 5 law firms and top 4 accounting firm students come through us, as well as students who are not working in law firms. They can come through to the college as well. Sometimes they kind of choose to come straight after they finish their law degree as well. And we are proven to provide an excellent course. We've had over 8,000 students complete profs through the college since 2004.
Thank you, Paige. I would just want to add at this point something that's a unique factor from for our course. So we have, I mean, we all know when you go to law school, you study and you end up with a formal award, your law degree. And once you have your basic degree, you have options to go ahead and do postgraduate study. You could work towards certificates or postgraduate diplomas or even master's degrees. But profs it's a course that's mandatory if you want to be admitted, but it doesn't actually result in a formal award. However, by doing our course, there is the possibility for it to develop into a formal award. It's a relatively new offering that we have. So we're pretty excited about it. We offer the Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice, and the major focus of the Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice is profs. So if you do profs, you're pretty much there with the Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice. So you can convert profs into a postgraduate diploma by, within 2 years of finishing profs, getting 12 weeks of supervised experience. And you can do that at the same time as you do profs. And you have to complete 4 small essays. And by small, I think they're about 1,000-word essays on aspects of practice. And that is what you can use to develop your profs experience into a formal postgraduate qualification. So that's one distinguishing feature about our course. Okay.
So the College of Law offers profs in 5 different locations, as you can see on the screen. So we have Auckland, where our head office is, where Jeanette and I are based. We have Hamilton, Wellington, Christchurch, and Dunedin. So the luxury of this as well is we are super flexible around on-sites when we're running them. So say if you were based in Dunedin and you need to transfer to a different location, if it is one of the 5 that we're offering, we can do profs. We can move your profs to one of those locations. So we're all about making it easy for you, flexible with changes while you're doing the course and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's actually one thing about our course is that we're really realistic that you will have lives and things that are priorities for you, and that profs is also a priority. So our whole attitude is to make it work for you. And we have that depth across New Zealand and the depth in terms of course offerings to be able to adjust if needed to what might be happening in your world. So yeah, flexibility is definitely one key aspect of our course. And we have 5 delivery options now. I'm pleased to announce, in direct response to your question, Denise, that we are actually back on site from the 6th of July for workshops. So we were all kicked out, as you know. Well, you were probably kicked out. You've all probably got your own stories recently. And what we did at college is we converted all of our workshops into online offerings, and we taught them through videos sessions. And from the 6th of July, we're allowed to go back into class and have workshop set times together for the on-site parts of the course. Having said that, a lot of feedback was that students really enjoyed the online courses, doing it all online, and found that was really helpful for them to be flexible and to be in different centres or locations or even time zones and still complete profs. So there was a huge call out, a huge request that we continue to offer workshops online. So we've done that. We have an additional option where you can go online to complete your workshops, or you can attend workshops on site. So we actually have these 5 delivery options now. By 5 delivery options, we're talking about 18 weeks is the standard course time offering in the day. So it takes 18 weeks to go through the course and complete the course. Or we have a focused full-time offering, which is completed within 13 weeks. Our 18-week standard offering is also available on weekends and evenings, and now online. Do you want to talk to the rest of the points there, Paige?
Yeah, so we're also offering 4 new electives. So we've been doing this for about a year now. So we have criminal, in-house, family, and corporate. So those have been going really well. Everyone seems to be enjoying the electives. Corporate and family have been quite popular, and we're now moving into getting a lot more students interested in the criminal and the in-house. There is also no formal written exams at the college. So I know this has been floating around for a while that the college has exams, but we've not done exams for a while now. So you will be assessed with written portfolios, or it will be oral when you're doing your workshops.
Yeah. Thanks, Paige. Actually, I think this next slide is what I just talked about. There you go, everybody.
So that just breaks it down a little bit. So it just says what everything is, how many hours you should be putting in per course. So whether you were doing a 18-week or a 13-week, and what the on-site times would be.
Yeah. So the main thing to take away is that our course is what we call a blended learning and study environment. What that means is that we have a mix of workshops and online work, the portfolios, as Paige explained. And unless you're doing it entirely online, which is now available to you as an offering, and yes, DBWLSU does mean you can do it from another country, then you'll be spending a lot of time actually working on the course independently. So it's designed as an adult self-managed learning course. We use the Canvas platform. It's a fabulous platform for education. We've used it for a while now, and if you've been through Auckland University, you'll be familiar with Canvas because that's what's used at Auckland. So we set out our subjects in modules, and you just work your way through the modules. And what you do is you submit a portfolio for assessment. And that what we do at college is we recognise that your skills deepen and develop with more practice and more feedback. So we've decided not to make any one portfolio the be all and end all. We've decided to take them as a cumulative approach and to allow you to demonstrate increased competency across the 4 different portfolios. So you do, as part of this whole process, you work with an experienced practitioner who will look at your work and give you feedback and critique on your work with a view to deepening those skills and to helping you to be able to, submit the best portfolio, a strong portfolio. Anything to add to that, Paige?
No, I think you've covered it there.
Okay. Here we go. These are our blended learning subjects. So we have a variety of compulsory subjects. If you look at the top 3, so you can see you've got interviewing, negotiation, and advocacy. Well, they're our workshops. So think of those as standalone workshops, which you can do on site now or online. And then the last 3 on the compulsory line, civil litigation, commercial, and property, they're what we call your core subjects. So you will be working in those subjects. And then in addition, you'll have a 4th subject, and it will be a subject that you choose from one of the electives. As Paige mentioned earlier, corporate, which has been extremely popular for the last few years, family, in-house, and criminal. So you can look at this as a bit of a taster. If you know you're headed down a corporate route, but you've always wondered, could I enjoy criminal law, then maybe you could try the criminal elective just to see what it might be like to work in criminal, or if you've thought in-house could be interesting. So these are opportunities for you to have a little bit of a taster about some of the scenarios and activities that you'd be doing in those practice areas. So in summary, you could think of it as a 3 and a 4. By that I mean the 3 workshops, and the 4 are your 4 portfolios. And that will help you to get a sense of the structure of our course. And the tasks that you're doing, so if you think of the 4 portfolios, you'll have a number of tasks to do for portfolio. They're the sort of tasks that you do as a law junior in practice. So it might be that your supervisor says, can you please prepare a memo and help me out with this question the client's got? Or you might have to write a letter of advice to the client, for example. Or there might be a lease, and there might be a problem with the client or a tenant, and you're asked to read the lease and advise what to do about it. So that the scenarios are realistic scenarios, and they're all based actually on real life scenarios that you're asked to undertake and advise on as a law junior under supervision. And as I mentioned again, you are mentored by an experienced practitioner. So we have a core group of staff, but we also have a body of practitioners so we've got, in the practitioner body, we've got retired judges, we've got experienced barristers, busy lawyers, and these people have decided to engage with college and to give their expertise back to the next generation of lawyers. So that expertise is there for you. These are experienced practitioners who are wanting to help you transition into practice, and they're guiding you to do that in terms of the skills. Anything to add, Paige?
No, I think you've covered it.
Okay.
So for your assessments as well, so your 4 portfolios, which are civil litigation, commercial property, and your elective, they are the ones that will be written, and then the oral ones are the interviewing and advertising, negotiation, and the advocacy. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how they'll be assessed.
Yeah, so there's a mix of oral assessment and written assessment. Thanks, Paige. Okay, over to you.
So when you can start, so as soon as you've finished your final LLB exam, you do not have to yet have your results back from that exam, or you do not need to yet be graduated. You can start immediately. So we always recommend, kind of getting started straight away, because then you're getting it out of the way as well. It always looks great for an employer if you've done profs and you can get started, straight away, things like that. And with enrolling and starting, if you haven't yet got your results, if you were not to meet the requirements of your LLB, you do just sign a disclaimer in your enrollment form, and then that means if you were needing to stop profs, we can put it on hold, let you finish your LLB, and then you can come back to it when you've finished. And Jeanette?
Yeah, no, that's right. Look, my suggestion would be do it as soon as you can. The market is changing. My suggestion would be to be ready to go if there's an opportunity. And this is a really good way of showing that you've got initiative and that you're ready to go and that your skills are more developed. It makes you more immediately of value in the workplace. We'll put an email address up at the end of where you can email to find out more, or to go further, take the next step. We've got courses starting. I think we've got about 5 starting in July alone, and then another in August, and then several more coming through in October. So we've got courses immediately available that you can go into, including the purely online course or the mix of blended learning with workshops on site. So they're all ready to go, waiting for you to take a spot in them. What I'm saying is, don't feel that you need to wait until you've got your results from your university. You can enroll as soon as you've done, what was it, Paige, done that last exam?
You need to have finished your last LLB exam. So as soon as that's done, you can start. So say if you were to finish your exam on a Friday, you can start profs on a Monday if we had a course going. Yeah.
Okay. Right, so we're going to close down and then I'll turn to the questions. Just in closing, just to reiterate, our course is designed around a blended learning concept of oral assessments and written assessments and workshops and online independent work. So we've got that blended learning style here. We're blended and we're flexible. What that means is we do have a set timetable for you to follow, but if things happen, we are able to say, we'll put you in a different workshop, or we can look at adjusting dates, or if you get a job in Wellington and you start the course in Auckland, we can carry on with you in Wellington, right? So we're blended learning and we're flexible. You will be developing skills with us, so we're skills focused, and the skills are developed by doing tasks that reflect practice, and you are supervised in these tasks by experienced practitioners. And finally, there's not a single exam in our course. So just wanted to repeat that one. No exams in our course. Did you have anything to add there, Paige?
No, I think you've covered everything there.
So I've got a couple of questions. One is, are all modules available for online viewing at all times? Yes. They are. Once you enroll in our course, the online modules in your 4 subjects are available for viewing. and the resources are all available to you there. We also give you access to online databases, so you'll have access to LexisNexis and Westlaw, and we've got a whole set of practice papers that you'll have access to online. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. And there's another question, does that mean we can be in another country while studying profs? I think I answered that one already. If you do the online course, yes, you can be in another country while studying profs. Please Q&A your questions. Even if you have no questions, just Q&A and say you have no questions. Oh look, there's a whole new Q&A thing I missed. Julie, really good question. So from Julie, we've got, I just Googled the graduate diploma. Good work, good. And there is mention of an applied master's through the college. Yes. Can you explain the point of difference in the college applied master's versus a uni master's? Yes. Okay. So the graduate diploma is the postgraduate diploma to convert profs into a postgraduate award. You can then take the GDLP and use it as one block in the applied master's program. So we also offer an applied master's LLM through college. And the GDLP qualifies as a subject ticked off in the master's program. Your actual question was to explain the difference between masters through college and through the uni. So the uni style master, I have a master's of law from the University of Auckland, so I'm familiar with it, and I used to lecture at the University of Auckland and basically assess master's thesis and things like that. It's very academic. You have to pick a point that no one's really covered before, it's novel, and you have to really explore it and understand the principles and the different approaches around the world and take quite an academic approach to a fairly narrow area. Whereas in the applied masters, it's about your practice area. What area do you want to be a specialist in? What area do you want to practice in? Do you want to be the best in that particular area? It's about really developing a specialist area in an applied way. I hope that answers your question a little bit, Julie. We've got Gutam, I've answered that. Sophie, hello from England. Hello. Just a quick question, as I have 30-hour time difference. The online option is brilliant news. It is. We're happy with it too. Does the online option require attendance at live virtual workshops, or are they pre-recorded at your own space? Okay, they do require attendance at the virtual workshops. What we've found, we've got a number of overseas students who are attending our online workshops, and you could look up the evening. Are we doing online as an evening option, Paige?
I think we're going to look into it specifically for the students who are overseas, because we are aware of the time difference. We've currently got a few who are in the UK and have been struggling with having to be up till 6 a.m. their time kind of thing. So I think it is an option we may look into, but at the moment we're only running the one, and that will be a day.
All right, Sophie, what I suggest you do is email the inquiries. Let me put that up actually. Here we go. Email now, inquiries@collaw.ac.nz. Actually, Paige is inquiries. So email Paige.
Yeah.
Sophie, if you email Paige, just reiterate that, then we'll be able to follow up with you on that one, because we are conscious of the time zone differences. There. Harriet, I have one more semester, 4 commerce papers. Is it recommended to profs along full-time study? Not the full-time course, but you could potentially do the 18-week course, Harriet. That is a really good question. So 4 semesters is probably, we know it's not a full-time load if you're organised and efficient, and you'll be in the mode of studying as well. So the way profs works is you have, it could work for you, Harriet. You have assignments due more or less a week apart, and then you have your workshops. So it might be what you do is you just work on the assignments and maybe defer the workshops and do your workshops at the end when you've finished your commerce papers. That will be a way of gaining you some more space so that you can do it, Harriet. Again, email Paige at inquiries, and we can specifically look into the timing of how that could all work for you and see what course might be a good one to plug you into, so that you can manage everything you need to.
And that could be one as well where we look at you just completing your online work first, especially if you're still having to attend lectures and things like that at uni. We can put all your workshops at the end once you're done with both of them, so that you're able to just focus on the on-sites and not have to worry about juggling two things.
Yeah, again, we're flexible. We'll look at what you need. Oh, here we go, Paige, one for you. Can I move from 13 weeks to 18 weeks midway?
Yes, it definitely can. It can be difficult sometimes, only because of where you are. So it would depend if you were wanting to change your course to a later date. That would probably be the easiest way to go about it. But I would recommend as well, just for your own kind of sanity around the course, is to kind of look at both options. We have a full-time course starting on the 20th of July, and then we have our standard courses starting on the 13th of July. So just have a look at both options and kind of see which one is probably the better fit. You would potentially be better to start with the 18 weeks, and then if you decided you could kind of take more work on, then move it into that 13-week.
Yeah. Then we've got another 18-week starting in August and more in October. Yeah. Laura, I graduated in 2011. Yes, are there any other considerations I should take into account with regards to timing for getting admitted? Thanks. Brilliant question, Laura. The New Zealand Council of Legal Education has a rule that if you wait too long to finish profs, then your law degree it's called stale. You get it's what's called a stale degree, and they make you redo aspects of your law degree if you want to then take it further. And the timing of it under the council's rules is something like 10 years from doing your first law papers. So one of the core law papers, contract torts, crim, and your ethics course as well, has to be within 10 years of being admitted, including our course. You have to be admitted within 10 years of our course as well. So it's profs and the cores, and then admitted within 10 years of that. So if you don't do it, we've struck this with a couple of students recently who have decided they do want to do something with their law degree after all, and they're doing the course now, and they're having to redo, say, contract and crim because it's outside of the 10 years. So I think it's worth just pushing through. You've invested in the law degree. It's another 18 weeks, and then you're admitted, and it's done. It's like the capstone to years of investment and study of law. And we know that you're probably tired of studying and being the student, but really this course is just a few more extra months, and then you've accomplished the steps needed to actually be admitted. You're done. If you don't do it, then you have to come back to it and find the energy to become a student and study again. And then, like some others that we're currently dealing with, you run those stale degree risks. Thanks for prompting me, Laura, to cover that stale degree point. Isabella, do you think that anything is going to dramatically change about the profs program in the next few years? Oh, give me a crystal ball. We wish we knew. No, I don't think so. There's been a heavy investment in profs as it currently is structured, and continues to be heavy investment in the current structure. It's working. I teach to the course, so I see the transformation in students from when they start with us to when they go. It works. The skills developed are transformed, like it's genuinely a deepening of skills. So I like the system. I think the system works. I like the fact that it's blended. We see people in workshops and then everyone goes away and works independently on the written stuff. I think the system works. There's always room around the edges for small changes, Isabella. And one example is we're now offering it purely online. That's an actual change. But I don't think there's going to be, to use your word, dramatic changes about profs in the next few years. Nice, Julie. Nice, Denise. Nice, Harriet. Okay, Denise asks another question. I notice in the timetable that classes are weekly, with the exception of 2 periods, when there is a 2-week gap. You know that this one, Paige. Is this a break, or is there bigger workload during these weeks? Paige?
Yeah, so this will be what you're looking at is the on-site timetable. So usually we have the first block, which is usually 3 days, and then there's a break, and then you do the last few days. So there is the online work in between this. So usually when you're doing your on-sites, you don't have anything due during those periods, I think, except for the last week or so. But that'll be what that is. You can only see the on-sites online once you're enrolled and the course is started, is when you can see all the online portfolio due dates and things.
And you should explain about Christmas.
Oh, yes, as well. So with our courses that will start in November, so we will have a whole lot starting up in November, December. They're not yet advertised because we're still putting them together, but they will be visible online within the next couple of weeks, hopefully the next week. But during those courses, there is a 2-week shutdown period over Christmas and New Year's, which means that there's no coursework due or having to attend during those 2 weeks. So it gives students a bit of a break as well, especially if you're going straight from uni into profs. Means you're actually getting a bit of downtime as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone needs a break.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good time. Can I choose what modules to do first and what to keep for later? No, actually, we have a process. So you do property first, and then you do commercial, and then you do civil litigation, and then you do your elective. There's a whole lot of reasons behind why we have chosen that order, and it's honestly the reasons are to help you the most. That seems to be the best way for developing the skills. So you can think of the subjects a bit like a train, the train that's on a journey. So you don't actually need to pass property. It's the skills that we are looking at and developing, like your ability to do good legal research or problem solve or to write well. And so the subjects are the vehicle for developing the skills. So it's easiest for you to learn the skills first in the vehicle of like thinking about property transactions, and then you move to the vehicle of thinking about commercial transactions while you study how to write and while you study how to problem solve the skills that you are being assessed on, essentially.
What you can do with this as well, though, is you can choose to do all your online work first. So you can do your 4 portfolios, and then we can do the on-sites later. So the negotiation, the interviewing and advocacy, we can push that out. That does, however, mean that it will no longer be an 18-week course or 13-week course. It would be significantly longer because you're having to slot in with other dates. But there is definitely a possibility to do the online work first and then do the on-sites, just to break it up a bit as well, if you wanted to do it that way.
Samuel Bickers, hi, can the 13-week course be completed online, or is it only the 18-week course? It's only 18, isn't it?
18-week course at the moment. I'm not sure if we will be doing a 13-week course.
Well, hang on, let's think about that, because because all the 4 portfolios could be done in the 13-week course and they're online, and then you could potentially join the workshops online. Really good question, Samuel, and I actually think that there is a way, because we can be flexible about that. Why don't you email inquiries, email Paige if that's of interest to you, and we could look at the timing of it and see if you could be in the 13-week course but then come on to the online workshops and look at the dates of those and how it fits for you. So possibly is the answer there, Sam.
And there's just one more question.
Oh yes, there's been feedback that COLLAW tends to have different people teaching and different people marking. It's been a point of debate. Not true. No, we have a system where you get allocated an instructor for your subject, and the instructor gives you feedback on module 1, gives you feedback on module 2, and assesses your portfolio. We have a team leader review the assessments, because you may have, 4 or 5 different groups with different instructors. So for example, I'm a team leader. I'm team leader for corporate, and I'm team leader for civil litigation. So I regularly go in and review the assessments that you're all doing, for internally moderating for consistency. So that happens, but the actual assessing and feeding back is done by the same instructor. You do have different instructors for different subjects. So you would have someone who's good at property giving you mentoring in property, but if they've never been in a courtroom, you wouldn't have them teach you civil lit. So the civil litigation instructors are people who are experienced in the world of civil litigation, for example. So that is a point of difference. But within a subject, there's a consistency of the people who give you, the person who's giving you feedback and assessing your work, subject to the fact that the team leader is checking, is doing that internal consistency moderation exercise. Hope I haven't confused you there. Anything to clarify there, Paige?
No, I think you've covered it. The only thing I would say is just you kind of simplify is you have one instructor for each subject, so they will do everything for that. So you may have 4 different online for every different portfolio, but you might get lucky enough and have one instructor who is able to mark them all, and you might get one instructor. But I think it's different instructor for different portfolio, but they mark everything for that portfolio.
Yeah. So to get to the nub of your question, it is not true that we have different people teaching and different people marking.
Any more questions?
Yeah, we've got Eugen.
Hello.
Hi, Eugen. The 9 days for the online course. Okay, let me talk about that. So in terms of the 9 days for the online course, for the workshops, what we've done is we've decided, no, it's not a 9-day workshop. So let's talk about that. We've got 3 workshops. The first is interviewing. If you're in a workshop, it's 3 days. So you attend a workshop for 2 days, and then the 3rd day is assessment. It's the same for negotiation. Workshop for 2 days, and on the 3rd day you're assessed. Civil litigation there's much more advocacy. There's more to it. So the workshop is 6 days, and on the 7th day you're assessed. But when we came to the online workshops, we decided that it's actually quite hard to sit in front of a video camera and do workshops for too long. So we've shifted the way it's structured a bit. We've put a lot of the work up front for students to work through in their own time before attending the workshop. And then there are focused days where you have focused engagement through the video sessions with your online workshop instructor. So for negotiation, it's 1 day instead of 2, and then assessment. And it's the same for interviewing, 1 day instead of 2. And for advocacy, we're down to 3 days and then assessment instead of 6 days and then assessment. So the actual workshop time is a lot more focused, but all it really means is that you do a lot of the work and the prep before you come to the workshop. And the additional day, the 9th day, is the orientation. Okay, hope that helps. You're welcome. Any more questions? We'll give it one more minute, a minute or so, just to see if any more questions filter through, and then we'll end the session, shall we, Paige?
Yes, so if you have any questions or anything, do email inquiries. If you were after course dates or anything like that, feel free to email that address, and then I can respond and I can give you all dates. I can walk you through enrollment forms or when you can enroll or anything like that. So feel free to email me. I can, get back to you soon.
Okay, so we look forward to seeing you in the inquiries email box shortly.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.